Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now about a month ago I did a video on compiling a CD of my favourite glam rock tracks, 22 tracks in all. And so I thought I would do this again, but this time with punk and new wave from the years 1977 to 1979. Now I've only recently heard that Stephen Schnee, who's a great member of the VC, even though he's CDs, but he's of the music community, he's not very well at the moment and I believe he's in hospital. Now he's a big fan of this sort of music, so this video is for him. So this is for you, Steve, if you're actually watching. So I've compiled a double LP stroke one CD of 26 tracks, and every artist is different, so there's no songs, no doubles, put it that way. You won't get two by the Jam or anything like that there. However, because LPs are now a premium product, at the very end I'm going to mention two more songs that will go on a 7-inch single, which will be given away free with the double LP, because there's two songs that I didn't get on which I really would like to get on. Okay, we'll start this off, and the number one song on the LP stroke CD is by the Jam, which is one of my favourite bands of all time, and it's their debut single, In the City, which is a fantastic song with that descending riff and Paul Weller spitting the vocals out. It was a number 40 hit in 1977, so that's the opener. Okay, the second song is by Blondie, and it is Dreaming from 1979, a number 2 hit, which is my favourite Blondie single. I absolutely love it. I love the drums in it, the vocals are fantastic, and the melody is actually brilliant as well and deserved to get to number 1. However, I believe it was kept off number 1 by my next choice, which is by The Police, and it is Message in a Bottle, which has got one of the greatest riffs out. I absolutely love it, and the way Sting yelps when he's singing, and it's just a fantastic song, and it deserved to get to number 1 back in 1979. So those two were sort of new wavy. The next one we're going full face on punk, and it is Stiff Little Fingers and Suspect Device from 1978. Now it did fail to chart. The single version is on This All the Best, but I actually prefer the album version from Inflammable Material. But either way, whichever one gets on, gets on. So Stiff Little Fingers, Suspect Device. And to keep that energy up, we have The Clash, and this is Hits Back. This is a really good triple album of their best material, and the track I'm picking from 78 is Tommy Gun, and it got to number 19 in the charts. Absolutely brilliant. So it gets the next track. Now following Tommy Gun, we go back to new wave, and this is what I would actually define as new wave. Now in America, new wave has got a different meaning, I believe, than it does here. I've always thought of new wave as like post-punk from say 78 to 1980, very similar to punk but just maybe less aggressive, but still a lot of attitude. But it seems that in America things like the Thompson Twins and bands like that are thought of as new wave. I don't, but I don't know who's right and who's wrong, but I'm sticking with what I think new wave is. It's Elvis Costello, and it's my favourite Elvis Costello track, and it's All Over His Army. Got to number 2 in 1979, absolutely brilliant. And this was the first Elvis Costello album I actually bought in 1985, and it is on the dreadful Telstar label. So, and then if you think of Elvis Costello, you often think of this guy, Joe Jackson, from 1979. My favourite track from him is It's Different for Girls, and I love the bass in that, especially after each line of each verse. It goes up, it goes down, and it's really, really cool. And this is from the I'm the Man album from 79. But yeah, really good artist, Joe Jackson. Favourite album of his is actually Beat Crazy from 1980, but my favourite single is It's Different for Girls. Okay, we get a little bit more punk now again, and it's the Buzzcocks, and it's a standalone single which is on this Singles Going Steady and it is Love You More, and it's only about 1 minute and 50 seconds of brilliance, and the background vocals are fantastic. The melody of the song is fantastic, the lead vocals are fantastic, everything is brilliant apart from the length of the song. I just wish it was another 40 seconds longer, but 1 minute 50, Love You More gets the next one. And then we have a little bit of new wave, and this is on the Stiff label, and it is Reckless Eric. Now this album is Big Smash, which is a 1980 album, but with this you get an extra album there, which is like, I'm not going to say greatest hits because he's never had a hit in his life, but it's a mixture of singles and so forth. Now I didn't realise you could actually get this as just a single album until about 3 or 4 months ago. I always thought it was only available in double. But yeah, this is great, and the song I'm picking from 1979 is Hit and Miss Judy. Now it is 4.5 minutes long, and it could go on for another 2 minutes. I love it. It's so melodic, so catchy, and why he didn't have a hit I do not understand. I think it's probably because of his voice. It could grate on you a bit. I'm sure a lot of people are not that keen on his voice, but Reckless Eric with Hit and Miss Judy. Okay, next up is Susie and the Banshees, and from 1978 it's the song Love in the Void. Now this was a B-side of Metal Postcard, I believe in Germany, with the German name for Metal Postcard, which I'm not too sure what that is. I don't know if it was on any album. I've only got this plus their debut album, and it's certainly not in it. But Love in the Void is, I believe, their most punk song, and it's my favourite along with Hong Kong Garden, but I actually do prefer Love in the Void. That's really, really good, so it gets on the CD. And following that we have the Boomtown Rats from A Tonic for the Troops, and it is She's So Modern, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's their most punk one as well, along with their debut. There's 2 other singles off this, Rat Trap and Like Clockwork, but you know, although I prefer Rat Trap, I think She's So Modern would fit on this CD better. Then we have the Stranglers, of course, and this is their greatest hits, 1977 to 1990, and I am picking No More Heroes with those swirly keyboards, and it's their catchiest single to date. Maybe not my favourite, but yet again I think this fits perfectly, and this got to number 8 in the charts. Following the Stranglers we have the Damned, and Love Song from 1979, and it got to number 20 in the charts. And again, this is very, very melodic, especially the chorus. The chorus is absolutely brilliant. It starts off really hectic, the song, really in your face, but the chorus itself is absolutely magnificent, and so it gets on the album as well. Then we get another American act, and we're going with the Ramones from their Road to Ruin album from 1978, and the best song off this is I Wanna Be Sedated, which was actually the B-side of She's the One, and it's far better than She's the One. And yeah, fantastic song. Should have been a single in its own right, and definitely gets on. And following the Ramones we have New Wave and Graham Parker from Squeezing Out Sparks, and the song Protection, which was a single in '79 but failed to chart, but I think again it's very, very catchy, so it gets on. Then a number 11 hit in '79 for Generation X, and it is King Rocker, Rah Rah Rah. But it's absolutely brilliant. It's got a bit of Adam Nant sound to it, so it has, but I really do like it. I'm not a big Billy Idol fan, I'm not a big Generation X fan, but I do like some of their songs, and I'm giving it to King Rocker. And then a number 17 hit in '79 by the Jags. This album is called Evening Standards, and I bought this years and years and years ago just for the song Back of My Hand, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't think I've actually played the rest of the album. I'm going to leave this out and play it because it might be quite good. I think this was their only hit though, so the Jags get on with Back of My Hand. And then we have Squeeze. who get on in 1978 with Goodbye Girl. Now I could have picked up The Junction or Cool for Cats, but Goodbye Girl is one of my favourite Squeeze singles from that period. It's my third favourite. My top two are actually from 1980. Another Nail in My Heart and Pulling Muscles from a Shell, but I can't count them. So Squeeze get on with Goodbye Girl, and I must admit I do prefer the version on Cool for Cats to the single version, but whichever one gets on, fine. And then in 79, a song that failed to chart, and it's by Adam and the Ants, and it's Xerox, which has really great guitars in it. It's got really great backing vocals in it. It did chart in 1981 whenever he became very famous with the success of Ant Music and Doggy Dog, and it was released in this 1983 album Dirk Wears White Socks, which was a mashup of the original album. It was never on the original album, but they did a compilation from those do-it years and released this as Dirk Wears White Socks. But it's a fantastic song, and it deserved to get in the top 40 in 1981, but it should have charted in 1979. It's the original Ants, not the ones that were mega successful. And then following Adam and the Ants, we have XTC. This is their single 77 to 82, and it is Science Friction, which again is really great. It's pure XTC, it's pure jerky, especially in the verses, but then you get a really melodic chorus. It was their debut single. It failed to chart, but it should have, and it wasn't on their first album either, which is a shame because I think it really would have enhanced that White Music album. So XTC with Science Friction. Right, then we have from the Skids, and from their album Scared to Dance, and it's not Into the Valley, which I really do like, or The Saints Are Coming. It's a song called Charles, which is a slower type song, and it was the lead off of the Charles or Skids EP. The version on here is slightly different. I don't know which one I prefer. I like the both of them, so I'm showing this. I don't actually have the EP, but I've got it as a bonus track on the CD of this here, but I love it, and it's really got that Stuart Adamson guitar to it, and it's excellent. But yeah, it definitely gets on. So that's Charles by Skids. And then a number 10 hit in 1978 from Sham 69. This is all I have of Sham 69, and it is Hurry Up Harry, We're Going Down a Pub. Really, really good, catchy, full of punk guitars, full of attitude, but full of fun, and it also gets on. So 4 more on the main CD, and we have from Derry, the Undertones. Well, we have Stiff Little Fingers, we have to have the Undertones, and we have Get Over You, which actually is my favourite Undertones single. It got to number 57 in 1979. It deserved a hell of a lot more. I was tempted to put Teenage Kicks on, but Get Over You is my favourite, so it gets on. Okay, and next up is Nick Lowe, and it's the B-side to Halfway to Paradise, the old Billy Fury song, and it's a song called I Don't Want the Night to End, which is absolutely brilliant. It's only 1 minute and 50 seconds of pure new wave. Now, it should have been the A-side. I've also got it on this single here, which is the B-side of Heart of the City, which is a foreign single. I think it might be Dutch or something like that there, I'm not sure. But yeah, absolute classic Nick Lowe, early Nick Lowe song from 1977, and it wasn't on any album. And then we have Polystyrene and Identity by X-Ray Specs, and this is really good as well. Yeah, pure punk and her wheeling away, fantastic song. Again, I don't have very much X-Ray Specs. I've got this single and I've got the Oh Bondage Up Your single, and that's all I have. So I've never actually heard the Germ Free Adolescence album, so I must seek that out, but I believe it's actually quite expensive. And to finish off the CD, we have the Sex Pistols, and it is Pretty Vacant. Yeah, horrible cover, but I thought I would show this because it's the greatest hits, and I've been showing greatest hits throughout this. Yeah, it's my favourite from the Nevermind the Bollocks, although I do love the other three singles. I think Pretty Vacant is the best, and it's a fantastic way to end the CD. However, if you do buy the album, you get a free 7-inch single. And on one side we have Dave Edmunds and Girls Talk, the track written by Elvis Costello and also recorded by Elvis Costello, but Dave Edmunds' version is much better. This is a really good greatest hits that takes in everything up to 1981. And flip over this other side of the single and you have Ian Dury and the Blockheads, or Ian Dury I think on his own, I think this time, with Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. So yeah, I had to get this guy in and I was struggling, I really was. Couldn't get 28 songs on one CD, so had to do a 7-inch single, and I think this one would be great on 7-inch. So Ian Dury, this is a fantastic double album of his best material. Okay, so that's my custom made punk new wave CD stroke 2 LP. I hope you enjoyed that, and best wishes to Stephen Schnee as well. I hope you get well soon, Stephen, and get back in front of that camera again. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.